Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast. I'm your host today, Steve Egvar, and alongside me, as always, my good pal Bobby. How the heck are you today?
I'm doing beautiful, Steve. How are you doing?
Great. I mean, It's been a busy week for us.
Busy week.
No complaints though.
No complaints. I mean, outside of the rain, it's raining like dogs and cats outside. So it's like I was kind of looking to do some stuff outside, but yeah, whatever. I'll take it. I'll take a rainy day.
Yeah, and I mean, it's big because you know why we are 1 week away from Hollow Knight Silksong as the time we're recording this. I can't believe it. I feel like it snuck up on me. It feels like I'm living a fever dream. I still don't believe that it's happening until it's physically in my hands. I'm still doing the whole debate of like where I should play it. Because I want to play it on the best platform, but then I'm also like, do I just get it on the Switch too? Do I have it like in handheld form as well? I'm debating a lot of things right now.
I mean, it has to be the Switch too. I mean, you've got that portability, and then you can dock it. So really,
but then you're foregoing achievements and trophies, and that's the big thing.
Oh yeah, you're that guy. Yeah, no, well then you have to go with. Oh wait. Yeah, go PlayStation. I mean, or Xbox. You're an Xbox guy. Go Xbox. And then double dip later, wherever you feel like. I usually do.
I think I'm going to, because that's exactly what I did with Hollow Knight. Is that, well, I did it the opposite way. I started on Switch, and then I got it on Xbox, and then I got it on PlayStation. And
yeah, so I mean, double dip. Do the double dip. I mean, like really.
I probably will, right?
How often does a game like this come out? Like we've been talking about this game for
like
6 years now, and it's finally here. So do it up.
I also don't know how much is this game going for in Canada. What are we looking at?
I don't think they've said a word. I don't even think they don't think they've told anybody anything, which is weird. But I mean,
this is weird. Yeah.
Let me see. Normally Steam is where to go, but like, what was Hollow Knight?
Yeah, Steam doesn't have it. Nintendo eShop doesn't have it. Very weird.
I'm just gonna say it's gonna be at the same price as Hollow Knight at the peak. So like, what was that? Like $20? So like maybe $30.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, like even on the Xbox website or the Xbox store, it says get on Game Pass or not available separately. Well, at least I know that if I get it on Xbox, like if I play it on Xbox, I can just go through Game Pass. I don't have to worry about additional purchases.
Yeah, but you're going to double dip, so that's fine. Like I don't judge.
It's a single dip at that point. It's a single dip at that point. I can do it guilt free over on the Nintendo Switch too, and then have that portability.
Hopefully, if Dave's listening, he can actually play it and stop slandering what Hollow Knight is, because it is a good game. He just, I don't know, doesn't get it. Maybe I don't know. I never understood it. I understand the
too high concept for his father brain now.
I know he's too busy stuck playing Quest 64 like a gooner, because that's like where he's at. He's stuck in the past. Meanwhile, you're playing the future of Metroidvania games. So like honestly, I do see where his simple P brain is, but we love Dave. So
it's unfortunate. We do love Dave, but it's unfortunate to see. But
it's okay.
Before we get to Silksong and before we get to next week, we have a lot of games to talk about this week. One in particular, we've both been playing. We've been stewing on this game for a little bit. I know this one's coming in a little late, but that being said, we still wanted to make some time and talk about it. That is Mafia: The Old Country. I would dare say this might be a little bit of a sleeper this year. I don't see all too many people really talk about it within the industry circles and everything, and I'm a little baffled by it simply because I think this game rips. I think this game has one of the greatest stories I've played in a video game in a long time. It was easy. It was a bite-sized experience, and it ran pretty well for what it was. I have some criticisms about some of the gameplay, some of the performance as well, but all in all, like, this was a really special experience for me. Someone who, and I'll talk about this in a bit after we get you on the record, but I've never played a Mafia game in my life before. This was my first experience within the Mafia franchise, and I'm kind of sold.
I mean, it's a good starting point, but you're gonna kind of hate going back because the first one, definitive edition included, like it's fine. It's obviously not the best one. The second one's a little bit better, and then you got Mafia 3, which is probably the most similar to this one. So like you're gonna have to work backwards, but it sucks. But like ultimately, like it's worth it. I think the stories were pretty good. There are some issues even later on, late game with Mafia 1 and 2, but it's just like Mafia the Old Country. Like there's some questionable decisions these characters make, and it's like this is not logical. Like how do you guys come to this decision? But like they're fine. Like they're fine. Like they're not like offensive in that regard. So like they're fine. But like I mean you should probably just brace through them like on easy mode and just get the experience. But definitely cool games. I really think this is probably my favorite Mafia game. It's the shortest one I feel, but like it's probably the best one for it because of that. So yeah. I think this is definitely going to be, like you said, a sleeper hit. There are issues from it. There are like a lot of issues stemming from the gameplay that I feel like are what really held this game back. So I mean,
yeah,
we can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I've never played a Mafia game, obviously, and then I'd always like humored the idea of I'm going to get the definitive edition of 1 and then kind of power through and do the trilogy. But I was like, oh, Old Country was announced. I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait a couple of years until this game comes out, see how I like it, knowing that this game is going to be more linear, more a linear experience. I was like, okay, this at least sounds like it's going to be a bite-sized entry into the franchise, and it really was. And then side tangent, so I'm playing, right? Have none of the other Mafia games, whatever. And I don't know if you've heard of the, I'm sure you have, but people out there, Microsoft started introducing these now like AI powered curated ads that will pop up. I don't know if you've seen any.
Not yet.
No, so it will kind of, it's kind of being slowly rolled out and everything, but it will kind of like analyze what you're playing or what your playing habits are and just kind of like give you a suggestion on a deal or something. And I come at this like from two different angles, where one, I don't want to be advertised to when I'm playing a fucking game. So I kind of hate this to begin with.
That's the thing,
right. Like I don't want to be advertised about like a specific game or deals like as I'm playing a game. But this specific one, I was like, I kind of want to give you a pass because it was such a good deal. Is that I'm playing Mafia the Old Country. Obviously, it knows that I'm playing it, maybe having a good time with it. I don't know. But then it suggested like, oh, the trilogy, the definitive edition for 1, 2, and then 3 is on sale for $12. I was like, oh, fuck. I got to buy it. Like at this point, like I'm just going to buy it. I was like, okay. I hate the adsy, the forceful, adsy thing of, pushing essentially a commercial down my throat while I'm playing a game. That's stupid, but it did save me like $40. So I come out from like 2. Yeah. But so I do have all 3 games now available. So when I do find some extra time, hopefully maybe over the course of the holidays, I'll start chipping away. Cause I do at least want to try the definitive edition of 1 after this, because I did really like it.
That's what I did. I went right back to 1. I was like, well, I want to keep playing these games, and I did. So like I've been doing that for the past couple of days, and like I'm halfway through, and like it is good. It's fun. It is a fun game. I feel like these are really underrated games that few people are aware of or whatever instance. But like they're not GTA games. They're more story driven. I do like that about them. Like there are some really cool characters, but like honestly, I think after stewing on it, I love Mafia the Old Country's characters the most. Like everyone's just so like fleshed out. Like I feel like they're the most fleshed out of all 4 games. So knowing that and then knowing what these games were, it's like I want this. Like cut the content, give me deeper characters, and just a shorter, 10-hour narrative. Not open world. Like I think I appreciate the way it was delivered to us in the Old Country. It was just faux pseudo open world, and like I appreciated that way more. I loved how it was implemented, and probably one of the most stunning locations out of any game I've seen. Like, I honestly think that's probably what made me want more of it, is just how beautiful like Sicily is. Like, people don't understand that. And having been to, I've been to these countries, like I know what it looks like. So like seeing how close and how 1-to-1 it is, like, oh man, it's a magical place. Like, going to these European countries, it's magical. So like having that experience, it's like I can relate to a little bit more. So like it might hit a little bit harder for me than to someone who hasn't been there. But like that was kind of the magic part of it. It was just like going through the old Roman ruins, and like you have to do a mission through them, and you have to do this, you have to you do races, and it's like this is all stuff like I really love about it. So it's like that. It's just they nailed the gameplay loop. They just have to finesse a little bit, because it was just, I think the biggest issue this game has is just it was clunky. The shooting was really bad. I mean, the stealth was basically the same. There's these little things they could fix, but they nailed the story beats. Like, I think this is such a good story. I really hope that it becomes like I hope it becomes a film. It's actually a pretty good movie. It'd be a good like 2-hour movie.
Honestly, yeah, it is one of those just really great video game stories, and I don't think it's getting enough acclaim in that regard, where you're talking about characters like Enzo, the main character that you're playing as. Like, I think he's such a compelling protagonist in this. It kind of does the same like tropey thing that you see in a lot of like mafia films, or like gangster movies and stuff like that, where you get this like up and comer trying to rise through the ranks of the mafia family and stuff like that, but they do it in such a really interesting way. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate and kind of pointed out, on X and Bluesky and stuff like that, was like, this is legitimately a video game that's just a love story, and you don't see that very often, if very much at all. Like, it is just a true love story between two characters, and I don't think that ever gets written in video games in an authentic way like this. Like, you have romance and like romance options and stuff like The Witcher and all this, or a lot of like RPGs and everything like that, but it doesn't actually feel like two characters falling in love when by the third act of this whole story, when like you're talking about like marriage, and there's other things that like end up coming up and everything. Like, it feels very real. You kind of like empathize with the characters, and it's like, holy shit, they actually nailed this, and I care about these characters. And to your point, like, it's a 10-hour game, if like a 10-hour story, if you just kind of like mainline it. There's like collectibles and stuff like that, but it's a pretty bare bones game in terms of like getting through like golden pathing it, like maybe 10 to 20 hours, if that. But like, you're not with these characters for very long in comparison to other ones, but you feel for them, and like
they're just like I said, they're fleshed out. Like, they feel like real people, and they hold on to that notion basically right until the end, when they're like, I've said this to you off camera, they did something so stupid that it felt like a cop out.
You're so against that ending,
and it's just like you built these characters up. Like, I believed in Enzo and Isabella's story, and then suddenly all that development goes out the window because you need to roll credits on your game. So it's like,
right.
And the worst part is, like, there are at least a dozen situations where they could have prevented that from happening, and it wouldn't have affected any of the other games, because like there's only like 3 or 4 connections to like Mafia 2 and 3 in this game, that like Leo Galante's
interesting.
character. Yeah, he's in Mafia 2 and 3 as like another conciliary to another Mafia family. So like Leo's in the game.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah, so like he's in the game, and like that's like the one thing. But like Enzo is just this character that he's contained to this story, when I would have loved to see him return. And the kicker is, like, it's just like there's a video game ass explanation for potentially keeping him around. So like I hope there is, because like you know how it is in these kind of games and movies too. It's like unless you see what actually. Oh man, I can't spoil it.
I know exactly what you're saying. No, I know exactly what you're saying, and you're right, exactly.
And I hope it is, because it's like,
because I don't want to spoil that much.
Yeah, and it's just like and it's just like even like Enzo's people around him, like Cesare. Like, I didn't like him, but like I understood why he did what he did, what he does, because like he's trying to prove like he can do everything like his uncle can do, and like he can run the family, and it's just like, but ultimately it's like, it's a video game, so you have to add some stupid video game logic to everything they're doing. So it's like,
sure.
This is one of those stories I feel like probably would have been better as a movie. It's compounded.
It teeters because I think there's so much that
it's so
complements the story because it is so cinematic. Yeah, because I think that a lot of the gameplay in terms of like when you're going through some story beats, like when you're setting up and getting into some of the races and you're infiltrating some of the compounds. I think that's when the gameplay shines. It's when the game feels like it always has to go back to knife fights. Over and over. I'm like, okay, this is kind of silly. Like after like 3 knife fights, I think that Enzo would maybe just like whip out his gun and just kill his
it's
enemy.
Just like, and it's just like that. Is that what they did back in the day? They just had knife fights everywhere. Is that what they're just doing?
Like everyone had a knife fight.
Everyone had a knife fight. Like the priests and like the nuns, like they're just knife fighting people with every day. So like, okay, I guess that's what it means to be in Italian, and just having a switchblade with you everywhere you go.
You gotta have a switchblade with you because it felt like they had like a really cool gameplay mechanic, which was the knife fight at the very beginning. You get introduced to this, and then it feels like they just repeat it over and over only because they had it. And especially towards like the end, when you do get some very cinematic moments, and you're like, oh, okay, we're still doing this. It kind of felt like. It was content light in terms of like its gameplay mechanics, where it was just very, hey, we have a shooting mechanic and we have a knife fight mechanic, and those are your 2 options for combat in any scenario.
Yeah, and it was just like, at least add some variation to it. Like they never really switch it up; it's always the same thing. So like once you do one, it's like you just continue to go over and over, and like. I would have rather just left those for the first guy and then the last boss encounter, which would have been perfect.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, it's just I think that's why you're seeing reviews like very middling, and it sucks because I'm still going to be shouting to the rooftop saying play this game because it ultimately is pretty good. Like I do think it is something people should play this year and just spend that 10 hours playing it, and hopefully this leads to more in this world. Like I actually would prefer something further back in the past. Like I liked this was the introduction to how the Mafia began in Sicily, and like that's what I kind of want to see more of. Like what happens after now, because like the second game picks up in the 30s, and like that one's not really the first Mafia picks up in the 30s, but like it's not really tied to anything. So like what happens in that 30 year gap? Like what's going on? Like there's so many questions still.
Yeah. So, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that there's a compelling reason to kind of go back and stuff like that without, spoiling the story. The other thing I really appreciate is that, we're talking about the story and that the gameplay kind of complements it, and that, when you're going through the chapter by chapter, the world doesn't feel all that large. It is very streamlined. It is very contained in its way, but still demonstrating like a very, very rich kind of tapestry of what Sicily was like in the early 1900s. My biggest criticism, I think, for the game, aside from some clunky gameplay and stuff like that, is when you get out of the chapter by chapter gameplay and when it introduces, oh, now we have this whole open world with collectibles and stuff that you can pick up and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think that the world that they've designed and the level that they've designed of, this is Sicily, complements going around and getting collectibles. I think it's very rudimentary. It honestly kind of feels like replaying Grand Theft Auto 3 in a way where it's like none of the collectibles really add all that much to the story or the gameplay. It's just kind of, here's some newspaper shreddings that you can find. Here are some, coins that you can trade in for, a select number of cars and some, different color variations and stuff like that. Oh, and then here are some fox statues that you can go and collect. What do they do? Nothing. It's just here's 50 of them. Yeah, and it's like I don't know why I'm doing all this busy work to pad out the playtime when one, this game was already a budget price game. I thought it was priced very accordingly to its quality and its length and its demonstration of like cinematics and everything like that. So I don't really know the decision why the developers felt the need to add Hangar 13 added all this extra fluff in, because it really did bog down the experience after I rolled credits, where I was like, I am determined to get all the achievements. And I did that last night. I got the last one last night, actually. But I was like, it kind of soured my experience afterwards, where I was like, we rolled credits. This was an amazing experience. I loved it.
Yep.
And now I'm just kind of getting frustrated getting into this like clunky car, going from like one point to the other on a map that one isn't very intuitive to bring up, and there's no pinpoint system, so you don't even know, like you have to keep flipping back and forth into the in-game map to figure out like where you even are in the world and everything. It's just it feels like I'm replaying like a game from the 360, like it for as advanced as it feels with great 60 frames per second. It in its performance mode ran very well. It just kind of felt archaic in its open world design, quote unquote open world design.
I 100% agree with you, and that's kind of why I didn't do it most of it. Like unless I was in a story mission, I was not doing it. Like if I came across a collectible, I was collecting it, but otherwise I was like, okay, well,
right,
I don't care enough for it. Like I feel like this was gonna be like an open world game, and then they're like, this is gonna be too much work for what we need to do, and like they pulled back on everything, and you can kind of see that, right? Like there is a map, and like there are towns and everything, and there is a structure there, but it was just, I don't think the gameplay was I think it must have been shifted to a point where they were just like they wanted to keep it lean, and that's fine, but like they should have adjusted the rest of that to it, because like honestly, like the worst part was when I did want to collect something, it was just like if you get too far from like Isabella, that it says you return to area or the mission will fail.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, then I'm not going to come back to this point at any point in the game. It's like I'm here now. I just want to collect it. And there's a lot of instances where like you're crossing some of those aqueduct bridges, and like there's like collectibles there, and it's like, well, I had to either move on or I'd have to like park somewhere and then keep close to her, because like basically you have to, like, you can't go too far from her or the mission fails, or like, and it's just like, and I didn't get it. And then there's that situation where it's like there's not really an opportunity to explore the world. Like I honestly couldn't tell you when there was like a moment where it's like, well, there's some downtime now, because every time you'd finish a mission, you go back to like the farm that you're on, and they're like, well, you got to go speak to this person now, so go do that, or go do this. Like, okay,
1000%. I was actually speaking to a friend of mine who's playing it currently, like playing it like adjacent to me and everything, and they were saying like, oh, I'm in the middle of the game, but like I'm going out and exploring and getting collectibles. I was like, they let you do that? Because to your point, I had no idea that there was like a free roam option until after I roll credits. Like the game does not tell you at all of like, oh yeah, you can just like go and do whatever you want right now. I was like, oh, because the game, like to your point, it always kind of feels like when you're going chapter by chapter, it's like, okay, you finish the mission, now go talk to this next person and start the next mission to do this and that and that and that. And it doesn't ever feel like there's a moment to go out and explore. It wasn't until I rolled credits and then it was like, okay, now you're in free roam. Which again, another baffling decision to me.
I never even got that. I was like, oh, well, all right, well, it's too late for me now, because I don't really want to go back and play it. And even more so, it's just like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, I'm not going to play this game again, because like what really turned me off was that trophy where you have to play again in hard mode. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Don't want to do that. And like I know that's part of it to get the platinum. I'm like, no, I already beat the game. Why do I have to replay it now in hard mode?
Yeah, I did a right off rip, and I was like, oh, if anything, if it turns out to be too hard, I'll just bump it down, and we'll see. It wasn't that difficult to begin with, but
I know.
I could see people being like, I'm not replaying it,
like it's a game I really respect and I appreciate, but like it's something I'm not gonna play again for a while. So it's like, at least let me just
it's like a really good movie.
It is. It's like I experienced it. Like, why do I have to play it again? There's nothing there that's incentivizing me to come back. Like, I don't care about the collectibles. There's nothing there that's really, worth collecting. I don't care about the newspapers. I don't care about, like all the stupid little trinkets he finds and stuff. I'm like, there's all that. I'm like, no. And it sucks because like I would have probably done the collectibles if I only had to play it once, because everything else is basically just collecting newspapers and like buying all the guns and buying all the cars and like customizing your character. And it was just a baffling decision. I feel I never ever liked difficulty trophies. I don't appreciate them.
No, I agree.
So, and that's why I'm leaving it. So like I got what I wanted, and like I'm good with it. So like if I don't play it for another couple years, that's fine.
Yep. Yeah. But that being said, I still think as much as I think that the end game and free roam stuff, bogs down the experience, I still think this game is worth the experience as a whole of just experiencing the story. One of the great video game stories, in my opinion. It's so succinct and cinematic, and the voice acting so well done too. I'm just thinking of like even the Dawn. It has such a great performance in this.
Everybody's good.
Dawn
like,
360. Yeah, like everyone is so damn good.
Like Luca, I love
myself
Luca.
Of
Luca's great.
Luca's amazing. Yeah.
Even like I said, Cesare, he's kind of an ass, but like he's kind of like the guy. Like he grows on you, and it's just like, and then you got Isabella, and then you've got the only person I didn't like was what's his name? Tino.
Oh, Tino was a little bastard, eh?
Yeah, I didn't like Tino, but like he was the only character. But like I get it, he's the bad guy in this game, and like he has to be. He's the only one I was like, okay, well, whatever happens to him, I don't care. But like everyone else, I was like, okay, I kind of want to make sure they're all around by end, and thankfully, it ends up being the case. So yeah, ultimately, yeah. If you're listening, play it. Just play it. Like honestly, you will not lose anything. You'll if you're craving like something like The Sopranos, this is definitely or like Mafia.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good ball. Yeah, if you.
Like
this was like the closest you could get to something like the Sopranos or any kind of like mafioso movie or anything like that. It really did authentically nail that tone.
They did, and honestly, like the setting is so unique. You don't have any games that are in Italy like this. So, honestly, it just made me clamor for like a Assassin's Creed remake, because like you go to some of the towns and it's like, oh,
true.
If Assassin's Creed looked like this, and it had those mechanics of just the free roam and all, I think it would kill. It would be amazing. But ultimately. Yeah, great. Like I think we gave it an 8, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Agree. I'm also glad we got a chance to sit down and talk about this game, because after rolling credits on it a week or two ago, I was like, ooh, I really do want to talk about it on the show and kind of get this out. And then after time, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go back in and kind of chip away at some of these final achievements and everything. And last night, finally, I got all of it, uninstalled it, so I'm done with the game for now. But I mean, it did introduce me to the franchise. I am looking forward to one day going back and going through the main trilogy.
And that's it. Like honestly, I like I said earlier, I really hope this game sells well and that people appreciate it, and we get more. It is a nice accompaniment to like Grand Theft Auto, and it's. I always thought the trifecta was Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, and Mafia. Like you got a mix of everything in those games, and then you got the best of both worlds in Grand Theft Auto. But like, if you want something that's a little bit more down to earth, and it's not zany like Saints Row, you play a Mafia game. And that's how I always looked at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, play it. That's all I gotta say. Finish. Listen to this and go buy it or whatever you gotta do.
Yeah, or wait for it to go on sale. I'm sure that by Black Friday or the holidays, it will definitely go up on sale. And this is certainly not one to miss this year, because I don't think that enough people are kind of talking about it. So hopefully more people do once the holiday season comes around. But we'll wait and see. Bobby, you've also been playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land Star-Crossed World. I want to know all about this in this grand conversation of all these Nintendo Switch 2 enhancements and
Yeah.
new pieces of DLC that are coming out for all these existing Switch games being ported to the Switch 2. I feel like this one had the potential to be an exciting one. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a great game, a great 3D platformer. How did you feel about Star-Crossed World and the enhancements being brought to Switch 2?
So it's definitely more of the same. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I enjoyed the base game. I thought it was probably one of the best Kirby games that I've played.
Sure.
It's brief though. Yeah, the only thing is it's a brief game. I think I finished it in like 5 or 6 hours. So I mean, that's kind of the only thing I don't really know if that's gonna make or break it. But like ultimately, like you're getting a pretty decent campaign. There's not much story to it, but it's basically, you know, this meteor crash lands and these things called stars appear, and they're basically saying like, hey, you gotta, you know, save us to restore us to shield this meteor from, you know, turning bad. And basically you just agree to it as Kirby, and you're like, well, okay. So, you know, there's 12 levels. They're just remixes of existing levels with different layouts, different power-ups. And that's basically it. But the cool thing is like the new mouthful molds. I think those are probably like if you enjoy the mouthful molds, I think that's probably what stuck out in the base game for me as much. They're amazing. I love the gear mouth. I think it's probably the greatest thing. I kind of hope that Nintendo finds a way to bring those into the base game, because I mean that would probably be the best of both worlds. But like it's cool. It's the most tactile. Sure. It feels so good to just, you know, jump up walls and like dig into walls, and you can kind of see like everything kind of crumbling underneath Kirby, and you can see like there is obviously a lot more graphical power behind the Switch too, obviously, and you can see it in the game. Like the worlds look incredible. The improvements across the frame rate and the resolution are like immediately apparent. But it's weird that like Nintendo decided to just like put that between or behind the expansion. Like basically you have to pay to get that, and it's like okay, well,
right, yeah,
I don't get it. But I mean, it's $25. I mean, it's not the most offensive expansion, but it's not the best. So like it's ultimately it comes down to what you want. So like I feel like I would have bought it if I didn't have to review it. I would have bought it. It really is like a great Kirby game. It's only second to like Planet Robobot, and like that's the best of Kirby. So like honestly, like there's not much else I have to say about it. Like it's brief, it's fun. It's more of what Kirby's good at, and like the final boss is so straight up difficult. Like I struggled to beat.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, like it was probably the hardest boss I've played in the Kirby game. Like I struggled just because like there's like so many stages to it, and like it does things that like I never anticipated, and like you got to be prepared for it. Like I ended up having to like use items to actually beat them, because it was just like I'd get through one level, I'd feel confident, and then it would be like, well, it's like a Dark Souls boss. So you get through, you beat it, and you're like, nope, there's another stage to it, and like it would be like, okay,
oh no,
this is way more difficult, and because it starts getting more erratic and like getting more wild, and like it's just like, whoa, this feels like a Dark Souls boss, and that's where I was like, this is unlike anything I've ever seen in Kirby frame, because it's just it was like a Dark Souls boss. You're basically fighting to survive. Like it was wild, but like it was probably the reason I would say play it. That boss battle was probably one of the coolest things Kirby's ever done. But yeah,
that's awesome, because Forgotten Land was already such a good game to begin with, and I had a blast with it. What I'm kind of curious about is that, we're talking about, 5 to 6 hours. It's more of the same, which is to me is a good thing, because I feel like the gameplay of the base game is already so strong that just more of it is already a win for me. In terms of when we're talking about, comparatively other Switch games that have come over to Switch 2 with these additive games, Mario Party for instance, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're looking at, price versus quality versus like length of, additive stuff that enhances the experience. Where do you think that Star-Crossed World kind of falls in this conversation? Do you think that it's kind of like set a new standard for what Nintendo's doing with these older Nintendo games? Is it like, how do you rationalize how like their approach to all of this?
It's hard to gauge still yet, because like I feel like this first year is just so difficult, because like really,
Yeah,
outside of like what Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong, like they're basically just trying to pad out their launch window, and like they're doing a good job with it, but it's just like I don't know if it's enough to warrant what they're doing, because like it's fine. Like ultimately, you're still getting great Nintendo games, but like if you've played, like really, there's not much else going on, right? Like even this expansion, like I said before, it's just more of the same. So like unless you're fine with that, like you're not gonna want to play it. And that's kind of what happened with Mario Party too. Like it was basically the same game, right? And that switched to exclusives. Like they're fun, but like how fun are you gonna like? Are you still playing them now? Like a month and a half later, are you still playing Drag X Drive, because that's one of their first party launch titles, and it's like I don't know. I think in a like 6 months, I hope we see more, but like I don't know how I feel about this, because basically all they're doing is just stuff that we've seen from Sony and Xbox. Like they're just remastering their games for their new console, and like they're charging for it. Like a lot of it's stuck behind these paid expansions. Like you can't really get the frame rate boost or the resolution without buying the expansion. And
that's right.
Like, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
and that's what happened with Zelda, and that's what's happening with Mario Party, and like it's just like I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have probably appreciated if they just put that stuff for free, and then focus mainly on just having very distinct upgrade paths. Like here's what you're getting for this much, here's what you're getting for this much. Like the messing was a little bit uneven, and it was just obscure to me. So like, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn.
I think for me, and maybe some other people who are listening can also empathize with it, is like I'm okay with Nintendo being so bullish in the quality of their pieces of DLC and their enhancements and everything. It's I think coupled with the fact that the base game never goes on sale, is that you're paying in Canada like $89 for Kirby and the Forgotten Land still after all this time, and then the additional $29.99 for Star-Crossed World. So it's like $120 for a game that ostensibly came out 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years
right?
ago. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a tough pill to swallow, and especially you look at games, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party, all these games that have now come over to Switch 2 with enhancements and everything. It's like, you're paying for these, improvements and everything, which is great in my opinion. Take advantage of the new hardware. I want these games to be running the best that they can. Yeah. But we're still paying the same base price as we were all those years ago whenever these respective games came out. And to me, I'm like, I wish there was another kind of payment model, or if some of these pieces of DLC were behind like Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack and stuff like that. It's like give people like a little more value. I would like to
if
see
you're a long time subscriber, and like you obviously they can scan your library and know what you've played, like what you're playing, provide discounts to people. Like honestly, I feel like
that too. Yeah,
a loyalty program is like the best thing all these companies should be offering, and like none of them are doing it.
Seriously.
Like I know that like loyalty is a thing of the past these days, and like no company is doing it, and like whatever, that's fine. But like this is the perfect opportunity to step up and be like, well, we're Nintendo, so we know that people love our games, so here's what we'll do. We're gonna release Kirby's expansion. If you've been a member for this long, you get this much of a discount. If you've been like a Nintendo Switch expansion subscriber from day one, you get it for free. If you've been a year, it's like 20% or 10%, and it compounds. Something, just give them something. It's like to put everyone in one stable, and it's just like, here's the price. Do whatever you want with it. And people are the kicker is people are still buying it, and they're still accepting the prices as they are, and it's like I get there's a Nintendo tax, but like there's got to be a better way. It's like things are already expensive in today's world, and like how do you justify, spending $120 on a Kirby game when you got to buy, groceries, you got to buy food for your kids, you got to buy, clothes, you got to buy back to school stuff. So yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a better system, but like, I mean, if you're someone who doesn't have any of those responsibilities, like you're gonna be buy it, you're gonna play it, and you're gonna enjoy it. But like, yeah, it just comes down to that. I mean, someone like you and me, I think it's fine, but it comes down to that. Like,
yeah, I think at very least, it's nice to hear that the DLC is at least very good, and
that's exactly it.
To that effect, it's good that the argument can be made of like, yeah, we are charging $30, but it is very good. And I think that the conversation would be much different if it came out and pieces of DLC and enhancements like that were like, no, it broke the game, or it just wasn't worth the money at all. It was tangential enough to be forgotten about. Then it becomes a bigger conversation of like, why is Nintendo even doing this to begin with? But as long as the quality is there, I think that there's a justifiable argument to be like, well, if people really want it, they'll buy it.
That's what it comes down to. Like, ultimately, the two biggest disappointments that Nintendo has done so far since launching the Switch 2 was the Welcome Tour and Dragon X Drive. Everything else has been, on par with what we expect from Nintendo. And I'm not going to be that guy to knock those games. They're just not what, I guess, the general population expected. Sure. Both are fine games. That's fair to say. Yeah, like Dragon X Drive is fun. It is a fun game. I mean, I was lucky enough to review it. I played online with people. You and I did those demos, but like you can only play it for like an hour, and then you're basically, you've seen everything that it has to offer, and it's like what, $30? It's like, that's still pricey. Like,
yeah,
stuff like that should be free on expansion pack. And same thing with Welcome Tour.
I agree. I agree. I miss the days when Nintendo would be adding, little more benefits of like in-game content to Nintendo Switch Online. It feels like we don't get that very much.
Yeah, like these are things that would incentivize people to sign up. Like, hey, you sign up for expansion pack, you'll get this game for free. You'll get this for free. So like, I just feel like there's none of that anymore, and prices just keep going up. So you're losing on playing these games, and you're paying more for them. So it's like, I don't know. It sucks. But ultimately, yeah. That's why I'm happy. Like I gave it an 8, and I only gave it an 8 just because like you do get that base Kirby experience. It is still like one of the best Kirby games. It's one of the best Switch games.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting that expansion for that $20-$30. So like, I mean, you got to weigh, time versus, how much you're paying. And like a good movie, you're spending $50 either way. With this game, I mean, it's $120. I mean, I think I spent like 40 hours and 50 hours for it. I think it's fair. I think it's a fair comparison. Sure. Like, you're getting a pretty good amount of content on it. There's a lot of levels. There's a lot of replayability. There's a lot of hidden levels, a lot of hidden secrets. You could literally lose yourself in this game for like 65 hours. So yeah, that's what it came down to for me.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'm at least happy that you got to experience it for yourself and kind of be able to talk about it on the show, so everyone listening can go out and make their own conscious decision on whether or not it's worth it to them. The other game that you been playing, and you put in the notes here, is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I'm very eager to hear about your experience with this game as well.
Yeah. So, what's your experience with Shinobi? Like, do you have any?
None.
History with it?
None at all. No.
So, yeah, like that's the thing. I notice a lot of people, like, they don't really have like any ties to it. But like, I mean, I remember playing the first one on NES, but like it was so difficult, and it wasn't until like the Shinobi on PS2 that kind of hooked me. And that was probably one of the best launch games they put out. It was like, actually no, it's a couple years in, but like Shinobi's incredible. Like it's fun. Like it's the perfect accompaniment to like Ninja Gaiden. Like and you're seeing something weird. You're seeing something weird like 2025. Like you're getting a Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and then you're getting Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Like they're like the perfect like pancakes and sausage links. Like that's what you're getting. You're getting like this really hearty breakfast with them, and like it's just such a great mix up. So like Lizard Cube's the developer. Lizard Cube's developer of Streets of Rage 4, and I think they did Monster Boy, Wonder Boy. Sorry, and those are two of the greatest like games that they've put out. Like I love Wonder Boy when it came out. It was a Switch launch title, but
I remember that.
It's cool. It's a cool game. It's just like it's obviously the story is just whatever. Like it's not really what you're paying attention to, but like it's so 80s. Like it's just like ninjas versus like corporations, and like you're facing down like this big corporation that's taken over your village, and like they destroyed everything, and now you're just on the hunt for them. And the best thing about this game is just how versatile it is. Like the level setup is incredible. The platforming is top notch. The combat is just so deep. It's a mix of just like comboing and using magic and learning how to dodge and how to counter everything, and like there's just a lot of versatility to this game. I was pleasantly shocked that this game was as good as it was, because I was hoping it was going to be good, but I didn't expect to be this good. And I think we all anticipated it was going to be kind of a stinker, but surprisingly, like it is one of the best games I played this year. It's crazy how like precise everything feels. Like everything's so honed like a ninja's blade. Like the combat is just so deep. Like I said, it's deep. It's so much fun comboing. Like you can do some outlandish things, from comboing to like you can do like 100 hit combo, dodge to like your ninja go flames to like bounce out any enemies that are coming into you. Then you can dodge into behind them and do this execution move, and it's just like there you have a lot of freedom to engage with enemies in ways that I wasn't expecting. Like it's just like there's a lot of fluidity and freedom to combat, and it's kind of like I don't know, but it's just I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like it's better to play. Like there's a demo out. It's just it's. Oh man, I'm trying to put this in a word that just play this game. That's what I'm gonna say. It's just play this game. It is honestly the best ninja game I played this year. I feel like it actually oversteps Ragebound, and I don't know if you've played Ragebound, Steve, yet, but like it's just there's these riff levels that kind of build to it. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to get to. Like everything you kind of learn, you get to these like riff challenges that kind of put you. It's like do you ever play Super Meat Boy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like the riff challenges are basically that, and like that was kind of what everything kind of is leading to. Like the story I don't care about, but like once I learned like all these the combat, all the platforming, the dodging, the wall climbing, these rift challenges are introduced, and like basically you're going through these obstacle courses that are so difficult, and like that's where the meat of this game is. Like you're just trying to get through these levels. Like that's kind of what I feel like this is what saved the game for me, is just like being pitch perfect to complete these rift challenges. And that's
something I've always appreciated with these games as well, is like with Super Meat Boy, or even like I go back to like Guacamelee 2 and stuff like that, where you get those like challenge rooms where it's like you have to be on your game to such a degree, and you're using your entire tool belt of everything that this game kind of offers to get you from point A to point B. That's why I really like, and
that's what this game does really well, right?
It's so funny to me that you bring up this comparison between Shinobi and then Ninja Gaiden, and going back throughout like my entire life, I've never played a Shinobi game because I was a Ninja Gaiden guy. And then even this year with Ragebound, I was like, well, I know Shinobi's coming out, and maybe I'll give it a shot, but I'm playing Ragebound once again. And actually, I really like Ragebound for what it is. I don't think it's perfect, but I think that it is a great return to form for the franchise. But I would be interested to one day kind of go to Shinobi Art of Vengeance to kind of compare the two in a modern sense.
It's definitely the better mechanically. I feel like it's the better of the two, but like Ragebound's got the better story. It's got the better characters. like the Joe, like
the music in Ragebound is so good too.
Yeah, and like that's all here too, but like that's kind of where I feel like they separate. Like Joe Musashi, the character is like he's silent, he doesn't talk, he just kind of grumbles and moans, and like that's all it is. But like meanwhile, you like Ninja Gaiden, like you actually have some characters, or you're talking to people, and it just reminds me of like old like Sega Genesis games, like Comic Zone and stuff, and just like the way that the levels are built and all that, and like. The best things about this game are just the combat and like the rift challenges and stuff like that. Like everything else is just like it I could take it or leave it. Like the story, like I said, it's basically you get revenge because they destroyed your village, and like that's all it comes down to, and that's fine. But like once you start learning the combat, like going through the tutorials and like unlocking all the abilities and like all these tools, like you are basically incentivized to just like revisit everything, master everything, and just work through that. And like that's why the comparison is Super Meat Boy, because by the time you've learned everything, like you could clear a level without touching the ground. You can basically you're invincible. Like you can basically do things like that like I'm shocked like Ninja Gaiden didn't think of doing, but it's great. I feel like
it is surprising that they only have like harder difficulties and some of like their challenge like missions and everything aren't what we're talking about. They're challenging, but they're not exactly what we're talking about. I feel like, yeah, to your point, they're kind of a missed opportunity, especially with its like aerial parry system that they incorporate into the game. I can't remember what they call it, but yeah, it feels like a very, very missed opportunity in that game.
Yeah, like that's what it comes down to. Ultimately, like this is a stunning game. Like it's actually gorgeous. If you have an OLED like Steam Deck or a Switch, play it there.
Oh, cool.
That's kind of the thing. Like everything mechanically is incredible. Everything narratively is boring, and that's what it comes down to. It's short. It's like an 8-hour game. I think I finished in like 10. But there's a lot of stuff to it that you can come back and do. And like the levels are pretty cool. They're in depth. There's a lot of traversal options. It's surprising that we're getting Shinobi back, because it's been like 12, 13 years since Shinobi was around. Like I think it was like a 3DS game, and they're not known for their stories, honestly. But I mean, like honestly, this is a great reintroduction. It's actually a good way to suggest people go back and play some of the older Shinobi games, because like I'm so incentivized to go and like find a copy of the old Shinobi games on NES and play them again, because like I mean those, I remember, like I said, I played them as a kid. I could never beat them, but like now I'm kind of curious to see how far I can get in them and see if like how far they've come. But yeah, man, it's cool that we're getting like these kind of 2D action platformers in 2025, because like they're lean, they're mean, and like they're just like really challenging. So like you're getting a game that feels like it's from the past and with today's modern sensibilities. And like I'm all for having harder games like this. Like that's mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of games have gotten a little bit softer in like the last like 5 or 6 years, and it's I guess just comes down to preferences. But like I do like a challenge, and like it's obviously no Hollow Knight or like a Metroid Dread, but like Joe Musashi knows how to do things, man. Like he's a cool character to play as. It's just, it sucks that he has nothing to say. But like his ninjutsu skills, his ninpo, his ningi, like these are all really cool tools that he has. Like I'm impressed just how many things that Lizard Q was able to cram in this game, because it's like I said, it's short, but like there's a lot of freedom to how you play. So it comes down to that. Like if you like to have a dozen tools to approach an enemy, like this is the game you want to play, because like you can really fuck shit up with this guy.
That's cool. I love to hear it. And yeah, hopefully now that it feels like it's been such a Ninja Gaiden year for me with 2 and then Ragebound and then 4 coming up.
Yeah, like it's great.
I am kind of curious to see what it's like on the other side.
It's great to see that people are appreciative of these franchises. Like I'm glad to see Ninja Gaiden's back. Now it's Shinobi's turn. Like I'm curious to see like what Sega IP is going to come back next, because I know there was a leak a couple years ago, but it's slowly been coming to fruition. So like I really hope that list is truthful and like we start seeing some more stuff. Like I would love to see what the next Crazy Taxi looks like. I would love to see like some old Sega IPs returning. So yeah, play it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they have like a treasure trove of riches out there.
Like yeah, exactly. Like really, I'm actually trying to find like the list. So yeah, so Golden Axe was one of the ones they mentioned. Streets of Rage has come back. Shinobi's come back. Crazy Taxi's in the works. We know that. Jet Set Radio and Golden Axe are the two that we haven't seen yet. So like, hopefully we see more of those two soon.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, appreciate your insight on Shinobi. Bobby, if people wanted to connect with you online, where could they do so?
Yeah. Be Pashalitas on all social media and consolecreatures.com on Bluesky. And that's the website's handle. So check us out.
Amazing. And as for me, you can find me across the internet at Asvigvari. Earlier this week, we put out our Outer Worlds 2 preview. Go check that out. Next week, we have some very exciting reviews coming out as well. So be sure to subscribe to the feeds. Keep up with everything that we're doing on the podcast. But we appreciate you all for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye.